Oh, dear Lord.
With an
Oh, dear
open
Lord.
back.
I need an escort to my car later on.
This is gonna hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast.
Welcome back for part 2 of The Suffering of 3 Years at Mickey's Bar and Grill for our year-end party. We really appreciate you sticking with us on this journey, and we hope you stay around for many years to come. And now for our Season 3 finale of The Suffering Podcast.
And we're back.
We are back with part 2. Part 1 was a wild ride. Part 2's gearing up to be
Sure,
just as fun.
Yeah, I mean, this place is, there's so many of our former guests in here that I don't know if we can get them. We may have to have a part 3.
And of course, welcome to the Suffering Podcast. If you're a fan of overcoming adversity and overcoming suffering, then we're for you, because that's what we do here and that's the stories that we highlight. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, please comment, now you can join. Don't forget to follow us on all social media so you can find out exactly what we're up to. And while you're at it, if you're looking for a car, we always got to throw a shout out to our marquee sponsor, Toyota.
Absolutely.
Toyota's been with us since the beginning of video.
If it wasn't for them, there would be no us.
That is 100% correct. So if you're looking for a car, go to ToyotaHackensack.com. Let them find you a car, and we trust them.
Yeah, we don't, as cops, we don't trust too many people, but
We trust.
We trust Toyota Hackensack.
So we're back for part 2. Thank you for returning for a second week. We're looking forward to some of the guests coming on. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You know, I mean, most of you probably saw last week's episode, and there's just going to be more of that today. And we're really looking forward to seeing some of our old guests, which we consider family.
All these guests that you're going to see have overcome adversity in one way or another, and now tonight is just about having fun. So we got our first guest coming up shortly. Stick around.
And we're back once again for one of our perennial guests, and that's Ashley Marie Turry. You remember Ashley? Ashley, your first one was on audio.
Audio only, yep.
And it was the suffering of, was it suffering of a transgender? Was that what it was?
Honestly, I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But it had a lot to do with that. And you were such a good sport. That's why you and your whole family has become family to us, because we had questions for you that most people would probably be afraid to ask. And you just met them head on.
And she was totally open and honest, and, you know, I asked her if she duct tapes it between her legs and all this, and she was good with it too. But she didn't get mad at me.
But those questions.
That's the first time I didn't get almost hit by someone.
But those were the questions that people have. And if you answer those questions, and it disarms everybody and allows them to accept you for who you are, because you're a really great person. And I can attest to that, and I'll stand by that till the day I die. It doesn't matter what you were born as or what you are now. It's what you think of yourself today. And what we think of you, that's what matters the most, right?
I think it's all on someone. I think it's all
wish.
on someone's heart.
Yeah.
If you have a good heart, you're a good person. To me, it doesn't matter what you do, where you come from. If you have a good heart, you're a good person. And Ashley, you have a great heart.
Thank you.
But one question I want to, when we first contacted you about doing this, what was your thoughts?
I was concerned. I was pretty worried because I am pretty open about it, but to do this on air, on a podcast for thousands of people to see and listen to.
Well, back then there
Back
wasn't.
then there was like
there
hundreds.
was hundreds.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
let's
not what I was
let's not
thinking at
jump
the
gun.
time. I was like, oh my God, thousands of people are going to see this.
You're not on the marquee at the
Yeah.
Palladium back in those days, but you know, we were doing okay. We were doing okay.
Like I said, man, it had to be tough for you, and I know you conferred with your brother Mark about coming on, right? And,
Oh, you're on a background check on both of you.
yeah.
Yeah. Do I got any outstanding warrants? No, you're good. I'm good. Okay, good. I make sure I pay all my parking tickets.
You do have that Easy Pass problem, though.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, I'm in collections for them. I just ignore them.
If you run away from the suffering, the prairie fire will grow and grow. I had to work that in there.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Episode
See, I
9.
gave the opportunity.
Yes, that was a layup. That's all that was.
Good segue.
But what finally did it for you? What finally said, okay, I can do this?
Well, you guys made it very comfortable. You weren't pushy. You were very relaxed. And then Eric had supported you guys. And I was like, you know what? What the hell? Let's go for it.
We had the extra pressure because of your relationship with Eric. We had to make sure we did you justice. We really did. We had to make sure we did you justice and put out a show that was not only telling the type of person that you are, but also talking about your struggles. You went through hell. You really did.
Because if not, Eric would have thrown me out of the house.
Yeah.
So we had to do it.
But I will tell this, I just threw my magazines that I write for a curveball with you. Okay, so rich man, rich woman. I wrote that article about you. I'm praying it goes in Rich Woman, but I don't have a say in that. It could go either way. It could go either way.
Maybe it'll, like if you put the two magazines like
Just
this,
put them
maybe it'll
side
go
by
right
side.
here.
Yeah.
Well, I put
No,
them
just publish it in both. Cross-pollinate.
Rich? Question mark?
rich person. But I threw them a curveball because there's a reason I did it, and it was a purposeful reason. Because I wanted you see yourself as a woman. I wanted everybody else to see you as a woman too. Okay, and that's the reason why I wrote that article. Because when you read that article, it's going to talk about how good your heart is. Everything else doesn't really matter. But, you know, what was your favorite moment when you came in? You came in twice. So you were in with your brother Mark, Family Dynamics. And by the way, you put your parents through hell. All three of you kids put your parents through hell.
No kidding.
What was your favorite moment out of the two shows that you've been on with us?
Seeing me.
The ball busting.
You know, and that's what it's all about. You know, we talk about some dark stuff, and you got to make light of it.
Yeah.
You know, if we just sat there and talked about everybody's depth of their suffering, we'd probably all be like hanging up right now. You know, so we got to laugh about it.
So with you and your brother, I speak to you the same way I would speak to anybody else. Because for me to treat you with kid gloves because of your transition or because of Mark's sexuality or anything like that would make me very hypocritical. You're my friends, you're my family, and I'm going to speak to you just like you're my friends and my family. Okay, I'm not going to treat you any different than I would anybody else, and that's important to me. I don't know if that comes through at all, but
It does.
But that's why you and your family have come so close to me. And now with the new brother, Mark, who always gives me the stink eye over there.
And a soon-to-be
Been here
brother.
the whole time, you know. It's not new.
And a soon-to-be brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Nick would be new.
Nick, well, after in their upcoming nuptials. By the way, I can't wait to go to that wedding. I cannot wait to go to that wedding.
Kevin already bought a dress.
Yes. I'm going to confuse the shit out of everybody there.
It's going to be half dress, half tuxedo.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, it's going to be a line right down the face.
You're going to have to protect yourself then.
Oh, dear Lord.
With an
Oh, dear
open
Lord.
back.
I need an escort to my car later on.
Yeah, me.
There you go.
So is there anything that you haven't seen that you would like to see us do?
Wow.
Nick, wow, Andrew chiming in.
Wow.
Andrew chiming in. The suffering
second that?
The suffering of not getting what you want.
Comments from the Puerto Rican front.
You're shit out of luck, pal, because I don't drink anymore, so, you know. Anything you want to plug?
Nick, I'll give him some of this.
Yeah, sure. I used to have a little crazy attitude when I drank that. I ruined it for everybody. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to throw out?
Just the same thing I mentioned for the article, that Newbridge Medical Center really helped me through a lot of my struggling. Obviously, I hated it in the moment, but it was help that I needed.
And you're working on them in what capacity? You're working with them in what capacity?
Just as like an advisor, they're trying to reach out to the LGBTQ community more.
XYZ. We limit it to the Q.
IA++.
We
Yeah.
ended at the Q. That's it.
Did they
Listen.
put another plus on there yet? Because
It's
a plus. The plus.
QIA+.
How about we either go with humans or Americans, and just leave it at that. Treat them like human beings. Treat everybody like a human being. Treat everybody like an American in this country, and then have respect for everybody. How's that?
That would just be too easy.
That would be too easy.
Let's just respect everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Except him.
I tell people all the time, treat me like a gentleman, I'll treat you like a gentleman. Treat me like an asshole, you're going to be treated like an asshole.
So you treat most people like assholes?
Yeah, pretty much so.
Ashley, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for all your support. We really appreciate you and your whole family. And I'm looking forward to where you're going to go and the things that you're going to do.
Thank you.
Ashley, thank you for being you. Thank you for being you.
And
Seriously.
we might be back. I got to go hide from somebody eyeballing me over to my left. But we'll be back.
Well, that's why we're holding Mark on until last. So
Yeah, I know.
Nick could walk you out to the car.
See you in a few.
Don't say anything. Let's just stand there and wait. Now you get to go. No,
Now I go?
Oh, now we
I'm
go.
I'm getting yelled at constantly by my producer Andrew Santiago for him being too slow.
Well, because his wife's here, so he's trying to show that he's like in charge. You know?
Yeah, I
He's
know.
showing off for Katya.
But we have somebody who's very special to me, and I don't know how special he is to Mike. I don't know how special he is to Mike, but that's Mr. Frank Falaise. He's the gentleman who lends me his son every Wednesday night to record a passion project that him and I put together through hard work, sweat equity, blood, sweat, and tears, all of the above. Thank you for always supporting us.
It's my pleasure, but you can keep him.
Your son, so let's go back 3 years.
Hey, Dad, could you at least, like, if a millionaire said that, could you at least say to the millionaire, you can keep him?
But pay me for him.
Kevin's got no money. I mean,
Yeah, I got no money. So let's go back 3 years. Your son comes up to you, he's been through some crap, says, hey, listen, I'm going to do this podcast with this guy. What's going through your head? You're a businessman.
Well, I knew that Michael, being Michael, he could handle it. Not knowing you, but I figured if he knows you, you got to do the same thing.
Did you give him any words of wisdom, though?
Yeah, you know what he told me? Get an attorney.
Get an attorney.
Get an attorney. You need an attorney. You gotta. Okay, Dad.
Hopefully, in season 4, we're gonna get an attorney and make this legal.
Yeah.
It's not legal?
No, it's not legal.
No.
We're living in sin. Let's put it that way.
I'll see. I had enough trouble.
So seriously, did you have a hesitancy? Did you know what it is? First of all, you're of an age where podcasts weren't around.
No, I knew what it was. I was, like I said, I was proud of him. When you asked me that day, I said, of course I'll do it.
Yeah.
Anything I could do to help you or Michael, or my sons, I would do.
Like I said, my father's been our biggest fan.
I know
since
he has.
like day one.
He's always at every event.
Yeah.
He's always there to give us an encouraging word. He's never said anything disparaging, like, "Hey, what do you do that stuff for?" As parents would normally do.
I mean, he's called me an asshole a couple times, like for pissing off Jerry
I can tell you
Cooney.
stories of Michael, I tell him. They didn't call him the pit bull for nothing in the club.
But one thing, we're not going to mention any names on this
No.
episode. No names.
No names.
No names. No Skinny Joe. No Frankie the Mook. None of whatever it is.
Talk about the football wedding again?
That was Tony the Horse.
Tony, no names.
I wanted to.
Well, Tony the Horse ain't around, so I don't. I can say.
Oh, you can say whatever you
I can
want.
say what I want.
But when we were talking about bringing you in as a show, I wanted to do it for my partner, as because he talks so fondly of you. My father this, my father that. It was almost like it was what little I could do for Mike, to bring him in there to get some of these stories out for the world to hear that he had heard his entire life. And it was really important. It was important to me, and I know it was important to Mike, and that's why I wanted to have your other son, Frank, in there to talk about these little things. And your clip that I put together for one of the episodes was walking through the restaurant in Goodfellas, because that's the way you used to go to the Copa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Coming in the kitchen, we thought that was normal.
That
never knew
that
any
was the good
different.
old days.
What was your favorite moment of your episode?
Excuse me.
What was your favorite moment that you had while recording your episode?
Just being there, knowing I could help Michael. I really enjoyed it. I'm never at a loss for words. So if I knew I could help, I told Michael, anything you want me to do, I'll do.
I always
Fun
said
season 4? No, I'm okay.
I always said it's because of this man that I am the man I am today. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
He was talking about when he had to suffer and struggle putting you through Seton Hall, but luckily it was 1937, and I think it was like $1.25 to get in.
No, it's $1.15.
$1.15. And inflation, it just
Everything is
starts
equal.
Yeah. Well, back then it was a lot of whatever it
That's what I'm
was.
saying, it was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, and
But like I said, it's because of my father that I am the man I am today. Everything he did for me in my life, I mean,
don't say that. The poor man's going to think you
I
failed.
can say it. I guess I didn't do a good job though.
well, he always said I'm just like him. So, I guess
That's why I
where
tell him I
got it
can't
from.
yell at him. He's just like me.
But I'll tell you one thing you did give him. You gave him an entrepreneurial spirit, because you were an entrepreneur. You were always looking to do what's best for you and your family, financially as well as business-wise. And I know that you've instilled that into Michael.
Well, the difference is, I tell him and his brother, they probably wouldn't have the club. Like, I couldn't rub two nickels together. I was working for my partners. working for them. I heard them talking about opening up a club. So naturally, I hear open up a club. Right away, he says, what are you talking about? I said, look, let's not kill one another. I heard you talking. You want a partner? I'm in. So he said, yeah. I said, now where do I get the money from? I was broke. I was just divorced. I was working at Copacabana. I was doing every odds. I only went to Brooklyn because nobody wanted to work in Brooklyn. Nobody wanted to go. Everybody's afraid of Brooklyn. Oh, I ain't gonna work. I ain't afraid of nobody.
See, and that sums up Mr. Frank Falaise. I will always call you Mr. Frank Falaise. I don't care what you tell me to do. You're a man who deserves respect. You've certainly earned it, and thank you so much for being a part of this. Now, is there anything that we haven't covered you think you'd want to see? You'd be interested in seeing? Because I know you're a once-a-week viewer. You view full episodes.
He goes to his friend Jed's house and watches.
I just watched the.
He just watched the Tony Woods episode.
Oh, Tony Woods. Yeah, Tony.
Because Jed was laid up for a little while, so my father doesn't know the internet is out there yet. So he has.
I know Tony Woods when it was Stanley Woods.
You got to look for us on the Google. And also, here's another thing, and I want to throw this out. You have supported us through and through, even going to our marquee sponsor, Toyota of Hackensack, to get your car.
That's where I got my car.
And we do appreciate everything.
I went there one day. They said, I know the guy that has the station.
You were like, huh?
He drove here the whole way with the sunroof open because he didn't know how to close it. All these buttons.
That was the only car. It was the only car I looked at. I got it. I liked it. and I bought it.
You're a man who knows what he likes, and I do appreciate you. I appreciate you keep sticking with us. And where do you see where we take this next?
You know, Kevin. I could tell you that the proudest moment my father had with this podcast. We were at San Vito in Bayonne.
Oh, when a woman, yeah.
The guy kept staring at me all day. And when I got to leave, the guy says, are you the guy from that podcast? My father's face, he just like brightened up.
Yeah, that's the truth. I said, how did you pick him out? I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. The guy knew him in the restaurant. He knew exactly. He said,
yeah. So
and I want to thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you, Mr.
Oh,
Phillips.
I appreciate being on.
You know, Dad, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me. Can't thank you
Just
enough.
be you. Being you is enough. No. Just, I want to
be someone else.
that. Just being a person, that's enough. Not being you, but being a person.
Like I said, I'm the person I am today because of you.
And that's what the show is all about. We'll be right back.